over the hill, Grahamstown, Baintown, from everywhere they're coming. They're the people's choice, the Saxon superstars.
Hello? Who's in the morning?
Bruce!
Yeah, yo, Jordan, let's finish it.
280,000, and I separated from him because he said that he was taking that to the Prime Minister.
Under Pinley and Bannister, the Bahamas have become the Cocaine Islands, a smuggler's paradise. Gorman Bannister says his father tipped off drug smugglers on the Bahamian island Norman's Key about planned police raids. And in 1982, Gorman Bannister says he accompanied his father to Colombia, where the two met with one of the world's biggest cocaine bosses, Carlos Later, who is now in jail in Georgia.
My father and I, and Carlos, we walked across the land.
Gorman Bannister says Later told his father about an unsuccessful attempt to kill a member of the Bahamian parliament, Norman Solomon, whose car and house were firebombed when Solomon began investigating drug smuggling on Norman's Key.
Carlos told my father that he bombed Norman's car because Norman tried to depict his Colombian people as dogs and scoundrels.
Solomon was not killed in that bombing.
Unfortunately, from my father's point of view.
What did your father say?
My father said you should have killed him.
On the streets of the Bahamas, there are now many young people who are addicted to cocaine. Gorman Bannister admits he's one of them. And that's one reason he's decided to go against his father and his father's friend, Prime Minister Pinley.
I'm talking about Lyndon Pinley. I'm talking about my father and other people in the hierarchy, but that were below them.
They are corrupt.
I would say so, yes.
You know it as a fact?
Yes.
Are you prepared to talk about that to prosecutors in this country?
If necessary, yes, because it's the truth.
Even if you can't go back to your father, you can't go home?
It's irrelevant. That'll always be my father, and I'll always love him. But it's time for the truth.
Bannister's father and the Prime Minister have both denied all allegations of corruption. Hours after this interview, Gorman Bannister was placed under the protection of federal agents in Miami, and he is expected to be an important witness in a growing number of cases involving drugs and drug corruption in the Bahamas. Brian Ross, NBC News, Miami.
Thank you to all of my special producers out there, letting us know that there's no sound. Thank you all for joining us and being with us during this special season. I will say that it's amazing that this year has just begun and it's already over, just like that. Um, the year is gone. And so time is flying. It is officially only 3 years and 9 months away from the next election. 3 years and 9 months away from the next election. My Lord. I hope you all are ready. I hope you all are ready. But hopefully the next election can come much sooner, like maybe, say, January. But I guess that's just wishful thinking. But hopefully it can happen. And so we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of structuring to do. And we have a short period of time to do it. And that's why the Coalition of Independence has not taken a break since election. And we're going to continue to keep moving and keep structuring. All right. So thank you all so much for being here. We got a lot to talk about tonight on this night. It's serious. But before I get started, of course, we're going to talk about some stuff with FTX because we're not playing with the government on this. We want the government to know that we are not going to sit down and allow corruption to continue in this country. We're going to stand up against it. And we're also going to talk a little bit more about what's going on in Grand Bahama. Got some stuff that's going to interest you. Every single Grand Bahamian is a millionaire. Every single Grand Bahamian is a millionaire. We're going to get to that in a little bit. All right. But first, I just want to say some things. I just want to say a special happy birthday to my firstborn begotten son. I got lots and lots of kids out there adopted, but I just want to say a special happy birthday to my firstborn begotten son. Um, and he is my firstborn, and I love him, and I just want him to know that, wow, you're turning 14. 14 years ago, he was born. That's a picture when he was born, of course. Um, 14 years old today. Happy birthday to my son. He's also Lincoln. Happy birthday to you. And God bless you. We love you, and we love you always. And so, my God, 14 years ago, I officially became a father. I also want to say congratulations to all of those persons who are now officially executives of the Grand Bahama branch of the Coalition of Independence. And of course, this is some of them right here on the night that they were elected, and they are Grand Bahamians from all walks of life. There's professionals, there's engineers, there's teachers, there's black people, there's white people, there's managers, people from all walks of life. I was pleased to see the Grand Bahamians that came forward and who are ready to take this country to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, the war to save our country officially begins. Let me repeat: the war to save our country officially begins. Just want you to know that. And so we got a couple of things we got to deal with today, but I'm going to start. Let me see. Grand Bahama, FTX, Grand Bahama, FTX. I think we're going to go with FTX. We're going to start here. We're going to start with the corruption that has rocked the world. The corruption that has rocked the world. Rocked the world. All right. And that is the situation between the Bahamian government and FTX. I am warning the Bahamas. It is not advantageous to us to cover up for corrupt politicians. I gave an example before. If a bank manager is stealing from the bank, it may make sense to some people in the hierarchy of the bank to say, we better cover this up or people won't trust us with their money. They're going to say that, their money is being stolen. So we better cover this up and keep this quiet. And that seems to be the stance that some people, particularly the government and some people in the financial industry, are taking. That we gotta protect, Bravedom reputation because we gotta protect the reputation of the financial industry. The problem is, while you think you're protecting, no one in the international community believes that the government is not culpable. We already have a tarnished reputation as it relates to certain things. And so for us to sit down and think that we must protect Brave, Davis, Allison, Maynard, Jerome Fitzgerald, et cetera, because we need to protect the reputation of the country, I think that the bank would make more sense to fire and send that manager to jail. And then the people will trust the bank, knowing that people steal, but even if they do, this bank is going to deal with them. So we could trust this bank. They're not going to cover it up. And so a lot of people around the world are saying that the Bahamas are a corrupt place. And you've seen all the videos. You've been watching all the newscasts, et cetera, et cetera. The way they're talking about our country, we have serious reputational damage. And we're going to fix that by certain confessions. At this point, I'm going to say to all of you listening to this and watching this, the Prime Minister has not had a press conference on this, which he should have. This is a major issue that affects the whole entire world. The whole entire world. And the Prime Minister has not had a press conference on this yet. He said some words in the House of Assembly where his words are protected. He has privilege. He can say something and you can't use it against him because he said it in the House of Assembly. That, to a lot of the international community, looks even more suspicious. They had a press conference, but they had Ryan Pinner speak and not be questioned. Ryan Pinda is not the prime minister. He's not the minister of finance responsible for this area. Ryan Pinda is the attorney general. He's not the prime minister, and he's not the minister of finance. And so we have yet to hear from the prime minister in a press conference where he can be questioned on this. And the international community is looking at that sideways. I can assure you of that. This is a problem. I've been talking to the international community. A lot of them have been questioning me. A lot of them have been calling me to assist with investigations, to provide certain documents. The international community is in an uproar with the Bahamas over this. Now, let me make this clear for all of you watching this. Let me say this to Alison Maynard. When you were questioned, you sideswiped and refused to answer. Alison Maynard, we're giving you 2 good days. You have until Tuesday to let the Bahamian public know your involvement with FTX. The Coalition of Independence is giving you 2 good days to speak up and say exactly what is going on with your involvement, the involvement of your law firm as it relates to FTX. After that, we're going to unleash the dragons. We're going to bring in some help. You've been warned. To the Prime Minister of this country, you have 2 good days. 2 good days to speak to the Bahamian people on this matter. This matter being before a bankruptcy court does not prevent you from speaking to this matter. That is not the truth. That is a lie. You can speak to this matter. It's being spoken about all over the world. How is it that you are afraid to speak about this? Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis, you have 2 days to address the Bahamian public or declare war on corruption in this country. You're going to see an escalation like you've never seen before. That's all I'm going to say about that. There are crypto millionaires who are angry with our country. Not because Sam Bankman-Fried did something, but because we as a country seem to be covering it up. We seem to have our heads in the sand. And so I repeat, to the Progressive Liberal Party, Philip Brave Davis, Alison Maynard Gibson, etc., et al. You have 2 good days. 2. That's all we're giving you. You have 2 days to come forward and tell the entire Bahamian public what's up. What's your involvement? Let me repeat. They are crypto billionaires who are ready for war. They are Bahamians who are ready for war. You see, since the UBP days, we've been embroiled in corruption. And we're going to get to that when we talk about Grand Bahama. The UBP gave away, Freeport under corruption. There was a commission of inquiry that showed that they did that. But guess what? Nothing happened because they're the government. What you going to do? Have your commission inquiry, find out what you want, and then go to hell. They don't care. And so they did corruption. They sold out the entire Freeport. They gave it away. And what y'all did? Nothing. The PLP took over, and what they did? Nothing. They didn't say, well, this was a corrupt deal. It shouldn't have happened. This is a disadvantage for the Bahamian people and the Bahamas. We're not going to allow it. They did nothing. They came in and continued it. Bahamians, it's time for us to stand up against the sick and evil corruption that has been going on. I repeat, we give this government 2 days. That's until Tuesday night to do what is right. 2 days. I think they've had enough time. They seem to think that it's going to help us by just not talking about it and it's going to go away. This one is not going to go away just like that. Bahamians, this is our chance to get some help to fight the corruption that's been going on. As for Bahamians who have been defending the apparent complicitness of this government in whatever is going on, or the failures or neglect, whatever it is, of this government, what's been going on, let me tell you something. Every election, they do this. They get rich and you get nothing. They get rich and you get nothing. That's what happened every election cycle. These same people are benefiting, and then they tell you, just defend us, just back us up. Use a PLP, right? Defend your leader. Defend your MP. While they're getting rich and you get nothing. Was this allowed to continue? If our Lord and Savior didn't step in, they'd have been making crazy money. We have documents to show that all of those properties that were used for money laundering by FTX, the lawyer for them was Allison Maynard's law firm. We give you 2 days, and then you're going to see the real power of the COI. A new group of Bahamians, a different type of Bahamian who's not going to put up with this anymore. Game is over. Y'all are going to do what's right for the Bahamian people. Y'all are going to do what's right, or y'all are going to get dealt with. And so, again, I declare war on the corruption of this government. I declare war. And so, 2 good days, and this week, we are going to give our corrupt officials a Christmas present like they've never seen. So I just want to say a Merry Christmas to everybody except the Progressive Liberal Party. It's time to do what's right. It's time to stand up. As a Bahamian people, it's time to end the corruption. It's simple as that. There's not one day that passes that the Bahamas is not being dragged through the mud. In the international community. Not one day. And so we're not going to have it. We're not going to have any more of it. We're not going to have any more of it. We're going to bring that change, and we're going to be that change. And so we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility because if it wasn't for us, we wouldn't have an opposition. I heard Michael Pintard make a disgusting remark to the international community that they should look at themselves first. They give examples of Bernie Madoff, etc. They gave examples of people who did crimes without the assistance of political cronies. And wasn't covered up by the government when it was exposed. The government didn't pretend to know that they didn't know what was going on. They got dealt with. But the F&M is no different than the PLP. And this is why we need change. All right? And so I just wanted to spend this time and make it clear that that winter is coming. Winter is coming. And an army is coming from the north to help the Bahamian people who are tired of corruption, who are tired of our country being embarrassed left, right, and center, to fight. It's time to fight, y'all. For once, we could shift from a country where the politicians do corruption every term, make themselves rich, and then turn it over to the other party so that they could spend the next 5 years enjoying their money until it's time for them to come back. And all this time we get nothing. It's time. It's time. All right. So I just wanted to make that abundantly clear to you. I also had an interesting anniversary. I think today. Yeah, today or yesterday. I had an interesting anniversary. Yeah, today. This has been just a few years ago. We held a business boot camp, and this is a picture from one of our boot camps where hundreds of Bahamians showed up, and we taught them about business. Many Bahamians went into business because of this boot camp. This is a boot camp that I put on a few years ago. We've had several boot camps. I've spent the last several years of my life trying to empower Bahamians. This is what I believe in, and this is what I do. Someone asks, what are you good at? What are you successful at? It's empowering other people. It's fighting for other people and empowering other people. It's teaching. We taught people and we taught them well. Persons enjoyed this boot camp. I don't know if any of you all on here was there. It was a masterful occasion. And so actually over 1,000 Bahamians attended this boot camp. It was 3 days, 3 separate weeks, and persons were uplifted, and we taught them. This is what it's all about. We have a lot of success stories. People like to talk about negative that they hear out there, but we're going to talk a lot about the good things that has been done. Now, just was an interesting anniversary we wanted y'all to hear about. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all prepare, eh? If in 2 days the government doesn't do what they're supposed to do, David is coming for Goliath. And we're coming to cut Goliath's head off and feed him to the birds. We're coming to end corruption. All right? And have a country where Bahamians are empowered and Bahamians are put first. Someone says it's echoing. Let me see what I can do about that. I'm so sorry if you're getting an echo. Thank you so much for our online producer. Thank you so much for letting us know that there's an echo. All right, there you go. All right. So hopefully, once the United States authorities start investigating, it will expose the corruption so much that we can end the present corrupt regime and move on. All right. And so I see there's bragging going on about, they're saying that equipment has reached to Cat Island, and that Brave Davis is going to construct a building in Cat Island. Listen, Bahamas. Gone are the days when politicians should be bragging about building an airport. That's your job. That's like a maid bragging about washing the dishes. What kind of nonsense is that? We need to move on from that. They're saying that Brave is going to build an airport and he could pave some roads. Like, we still bragging about paving roads? We still living in the 70s and 80s? My Lord. We need to move on from this nonsense. I mean, y'all serious? Y'all gonna brag about Brave saying he ain't gonna do an airport when he's been the Minister of Works, when he has been the Member of Parliament for Cat Island since 1987, and only now because he's been embarrassed so much he realized he have to do something, and so he chooses to build an airport and pave some road. The roads in Cat Island been paved before. There is nothing new. But we should not be bragging about paving roads, fixing potholes. I mean, we bragging on that. I see they're saying, I saw one video where they're saying that Leslie Miller did some cleanup, cleaning up garbage in her constituency this weekend. Like you want praise for that? My Lord. No, thank you. All right? Do your job. Do your job. Jesus. If the maid mopped the floor, should we have a big celebration? Say, boy, that's a good maid. Eh? She mopped the floor. My maid mopped the floor. Man, I love this maid. What? From 1987 to now, this is now 2023. You all count how much that years it is, and you all post that. And he just built one airport. And he wants to brag about that. Brave, you late. Still build the airport now. I ain't telling you stop. But you late. That ain't nothing to brag about. You need to just go hurry up, do that in secret, and just say, yeah, I failed, but I trying to make it up. I build the airport. I don't think you want praise for that. Jesus. We got to get it together. All right. So 2 good days, and then war. Remember me telling you all that. 2 good days, and then war. All right? Simple as that. They're going to see how powerful this little so-called third party is. Stay tuned, eh? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about Grand Bahama. I had the opportunity to go to Grand Bahama recently, and a video went viral of a gentleman basically telling me to get off land in Grand Bahama, telling a Bahamian that they're trespassing on land in Grand Bahama. Our land. That was our crown land. All right. And somehow it turned over to some other people. I don't know how that works, but that was our land. So that was interesting to see the attitude of this gentleman. That was most interesting about it. He behaved like someone told him that once you're a foreigner in this country, you are king, and no Bahamian could question you or have nothing to say to you. It's like someone told them, listen, whenever you see black Bahamians, you talk down to them because this land belongs to foreigners. And as long as you're a foreigner in this country, you have all the say and all the rights. That's how he, that's how his posture was. That's how he behaved. But I just want this gentleman to know that you're a guest in this country. And while we let you beat up your gum because we wanted the Bahamian people to see your attitude, you're a guest in this country. I don't care how much money you're making in this country, you're making that because of us. And you should be grateful. And we know that there's a lot to hide, a lot that y'all are hiding. Because y'all are, billions are being made, not by you. I can tell them who you are in a minute. Not by you, but there's billions being made from our country. And we're tired of the disrespect in our country. You'll fix your business in a minute. But we're tired. And so what we're asking you to learn how to do is respect us. All right? You are a guest. And you came here in a way that you should not have come here. The gentleman you all saw in that video, his name is Jesse. Jesse came to this Bahamas. He came to this Bahamas as a worker. He came here some time ago, around 2006 or 2007, around there. He came here to work for a company, and he came here as a mechanic, as a maintenance man. There were four other persons working in that yard who were qualified, but they hired him and made him a maintenance manager. He had no special skills, none whatsoever. His name is Jesse Lee. Everyone remember that. Jesse Lee. That's his name. Jesse Lee. And Jesse Lee came here as a maintenance manager, a job that Bahamians could do. He's from Texas originally. And he came here. And he decided, man, he loved this country so much that he ain't going back. And that's what a lot of them do. They come here and they love this country and they realize that because of maybe the color of their skin or where they're from, that they can be kings here. If they go back to their own country, they'll be a nobody. So maybe in Texas, he was a nobody, but in the Bahamas, they treat him, special. Jesse Lee. He didn't want to go back, and they're saying that he allegedly had some issues with immigration a couple of times, and immigration took him from the yard, at least one or two times. And he decided he wanted to stay. And he found a way to stay. He found a Bahamian woman to marry. Smart move. He found a Bahamian woman to marry, and that allowed him to stay here. And he's been here ever since. Jesse Lee. I won't call the name of his spouse. She have nothing to do with this. But Jesse Lee came out and acted very, disrespectful. But I want you to know this is our land. I can tell you some history of this land in a minute. And I want you all to pay good attention to what's going on in Grand Bahama. Every Grand Bahamian is a millionaire. That's documented. That's in writing. I can tell you how in a minute. But Jesse Lee, behave. Respect Bahamians when you see them. All right? Respect Bahamians when you see them. Because everything you have is because of us. We gave you that. You have the opportunity to now live in this nice house, this big house, right on Vallejo Road. This nice house right here that you live in. You came here as a mechanic. And now you live in this nice, how big that house is. When there were many Bahamians who should be living in that nice house because they were qualified. And he came and never left. It's Jesse House right there. Lives in a nice mansion in Grand Bahama. And so, Jesse, you're welcome to share our country. You're welcome to share in our wealth. But just remember, this land is our land. This land was made for us. You are a guest here, Jesse. And so some people wonder exactly who I'm talking about. Let me just do a little screen share so you can see what I'm talking. In fact, let me play a little clip of the video so that y'all can see it. Let me put a clip on here for y'all. A clip of good old Jesse. All right? Because I want y'all to see how serious this is. Because I'm going to break some stuff down for y'all. Why? Because every resident of Freeport is a millionaire. Remember, I gave you this Christmas gift by telling you that every resident of Freeport is a millionaire. So let me just share a screen quickly, and y'all can see exactly who this Jesse is, because some people might not have watched it, even though it went viral. Let me see if I can get this up for you. Some people might not have watched it. Let me just play a little clip for y'all of when we met Jesse. There's good old Jesse Lee in Grand Bahama. There he is. There's Jesse. Jesse came like he came to knock us down. Look at his hand on his kimber and his neck movement. I mean, he is digging in there. He is talking to these Negroes, and letting them know, you know, get off, protecting these billions. So I just wanted you to see that big ocean right in the background. Oh man, I went back too much. But there's a big ocean looking. I went too back too far. I wonder if I could get y'all to see it. Let me just play it so y'all could see it. Right there. All of this. This is water, and you see that water is very black. And I can show you the depth of the water. Deep water is black. Shallow water is light blue. This is deep. That's how deep this dredging is. I'm going to show you some stuff tonight that's going to blow your mind. All right. Let's go into a little bit of stuff. All right. Let's go into a little bit of stuff. Let me stop this so we can get to what we have to get to. I can't get to everything tonight, but we'll get to as much as we can get to because I want you to understand that this country is a very, very wealthy nation. This country is wealthy beyond belief. And for years and years, they've been lying to you. They've been keeping certain things secret, Bahamas. And all we want to do is reveal this so that you will know the truth. What he was protecting, this is some footage that we got of it. So this is a part of it. We're going to show you more of it, but this is a part of it of what he is protecting. They have dug and dredged so deep that it is mind blowing. They have dug deep into this. And so the the actual area is here in this picture. To the top, you see those two black bodies of water? That is so big. I'm going to go to Google Earth now so you can get an actual picture of what they've been doing. All right, I'm going to go to Google Earth. Every, but every resident of Freeport is a millionaire. Remember, I told you those words. Remember, I told you those words. They could always tell you Lincoln telling dreams, but they have never once been able to say he is lying, he is wrong because of such and such. They just go quiet and say, what? Let's just hope people don't catch on and hope they don't listen to him. Let's block him in the media, block him on social media, so people don't catch on. Because Bahamians, let's just start saying PLP, F&M, and our people just come with us. They ain't jack for Lincoln. We keep them poor, keep them broke, keep them destitute. And so, let me pull up Google Earth. Just give me a minute to pull it up. There we go. There we go. You pull up Grand Bahama, and then I'll let you see it. Hang me tonight, because this is my last official live for the year. All right, y'all just hang with me. All right, hang with me. I wanted to end this by showing Bahamians how wealthy we are. It's important. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. We show you what these people are protecting in our country. It's Grand Bahama. I'm zooming in. This is Grand Bahama Airport. So in the airport zone, just east of the airport, it's the East Airport Zone, right next to it. So this is the airport, and this is where they're dredging and digging. All right. Now, this is the area where they're dredging all of this. This whole area right here. And as you can see, this is blue. This is extremely deep. You see the water around it is light blue, and that's so you can tell how deep it is. This is extremely deep. And so let me just do something. I'm just gonna get a general area. All right. I'm not gonna count this. I'm just gonna count it right here and show you how much acres this is. These fellas live in. I'm gonna count all around here. All right. So here, I'm gonna go down to here. Let me go across here. Let me miss some of it. Let me just go here. Here. Oh no, I did something wrong. Anyway, this is an estimate, so I'm gonna miss some of it. Right? Yeah. There. I'll go to the top. I won't count that. I counted this before. This is about 5 acres, just this right here. All right. So we're looking at about 100. And so this part is left off, which is probably about 3 acres or so right there. But we're looking at over 140 acres. 140 acres. All right. Just this area here where they're dredging. So I didn't count this. This is another about 5 acres. Yeah, I didn't count this. All right. So that might take it close to 150 acres. So let's just estimate about 150 acres. This is an estimate. 150 acres, they've been dredging this right here. And we believe that this is hundreds of feet deep. Hundreds of feet deep. Hundreds. And so, to put this in perspective for you, the entire South Beach subdivision, that's from where the police station is, by Zion Road, going all the way south, all those houses in the back of South Beach, that whole huge area, that's about 130 acres. The whole of South Beach area. That's about 130 acres. This that they're dredging, so imagine the whole of South Beach, all that when you drive through Zion Boulevard, everything to the south of that, going south, heading towards South Beach, the canals, etc. All that area, that's about 130 or so acres. Imagine all of that is a big blue ocean. Like this, that they dig out. Do you know how? So Lake Kalani, not Kalani, Lake Cunningham, that's on the airport road. You see how long it takes you to drive past that lake? That's about this. All right? Similar acreage. You see how long it takes you to drive past? Imagine someone dredge all of that, but actually deep, 200-300 feet deep. That's how much trillions of dollars worth of aggregate that they are getting from within our country. Trillions of dollars worth of our aggregate over the years. Trillions. And this is what has been happening. Trillions. This is deeper than what Bahama Rock is doing. This is deeper. And so trillions of dollars is being made. And guess how much, if you check all of the Bahamas budget over the years, guess how much we get? Nothing. And it shows how much we get for limestone. One year it's at $27. I was so proud. But we get nothing for the limestone that is mined. And this is one site. There are several sites that they are mining at the same time. There are several sites that they're mining. This is just one of them. So I want you to pay attention to, if you look closely, if you take a close look, I don't know how much I have to zoom in for you all to see this good on your device. They've already started cutting out here, look at along the line, to do another big one that's even wider, that is wide as the two of them put together. See? They've already started, look like they've started work here to cut here. You can see this isn't natural and organic like the rest of these. This looks like man-made cuts. Here, that's cut at an angle right here. Getting ready to cut more. And what I need to understand is that this area is filled with mangroves. And so while we have all these environmentalists, talking and kicking up pine trees and this and that, this area is filled with mangroves. And how they do this is they cover the area with fill, and then they drill holes 80 feet deep, 16 feet apart. Holes that are 80 feet deep and 16 feet apart. And then they blow it up to break up the area. So they destroy the mangroves. So all the mangroves that was in this area was destroyed. They destroy the mangroves and they break it up and they do explosion. Those explosions were destroying the seabed. Sorry, not the seabed, the underground caves. We have limestone kind of caves that are underwater, and it is the water table. And that is how the water flowed. And that is why you're having a lot of floods in Grand Bahama now, because they have crushed these underwater caves because of all of the explosions, and the water has nowhere to go. And that's why Grand Bahama is flooding so much. All right. You can see the airport, which is right next door. See the airport right here. This the airport. This where they dredging. This where they blowing up. And remember, the airport here floods badly. All right. And so there's other sites where they're also doing stuff. I wish I had more time to go into more of this, but there are other sites where they're doing more of these demonic stuff. And they're making billions of dollars. What do we get for it? Nothing. We've revealed to you that there was an agreement that was supposed to be carried out. But because of corruption, no one forced these people to go along with this agreement. Because of corruption. They were supposed to provide education free of charge, medical facilities free of charge. They were even supposed to do housing, electricity, certain things for government workers, pay all their salaries, etc., etc. There was things they were supposed to do. Do you know what else they were supposed to do that we didn't list? That's written there, right there. They were supposed to provide 7.5% of all of their profits. 7.5% of all of their profits to the government. Over the years, we have not seen where any of the profits have gone to the government of this country. We don't see anything anywhere, nothing in any budget where they say this is a line item, this is the money we get from Freeport because of money that was made because of activities going on in Freeport. 7.5%. What do we get? Nothing. The F&M knows about this. The PLP knows about this. What do we get? Nothing. The Hawksbill Creek Agreement also says that if the Port Authority fails to provide anything in its agreement, that they must pay damages to us. They're supposed to provide education. They didn't. They must pay damages. They're supposed to provide health care. They must pay damages. And that means anyone who did not get proper facilities or they couldn't get proper medical attention because there wasn't proper medical facilities, they may be culpable for damages. We got to make this make sense. So a lot of Bahamians may not be ready for this conversation. I'm sorry, I gotta do some extracurricular activity here in order to get this. I gotta get this device going. I'm sorry. See if that works. No, it did not. Okay. If this works. I'm sorry, we're trying to get power to this device. Doesn't seem to be cooperating, so just give me a second. I'm so sorry. See if that works. Nope, it's not working. Now that one should work. All right, I'm so sorry. We have to do a little switcheroo here. I'm so sorry. I want you to watch this video while I prepare this. While I prepare this device. This is a man that you may have forgotten. This is a very special man that you may have forgotten. I want you to hear from him one more time. All right? You heard when he was in the House of Assembly beating up his government and saying what the Bahamians deserve, what we should get. This is just a reminder of this man that we've all forgotten.
Member of Parliament for Golden Isles Vaughn Miller, meantime, says a so-called black gold rush is within reach of Bahamians. He was referring to the management of oil, granite, and aragonite, which are all resources he feels are not being maximized. Referring to the Sovereign Wealth Fund, Mr. Miller says he's concerned about a number of areas not yet tapped into.
The prudent use of wealth generated from our national resources has the potential to provide the basis for sustainable economic growth and development. So some of the benefits of establishing a sovereign wealth fund includes the stabilization of revenue and the safeguarding of revenues for future generations by the creation of a separate vehicle by which the government can account for revenue receipts and utilization.
Limestone can be used to make other building materials, such as cement, mortar, and concrete. When limestone is crushed and heated with clay in a rotary kiln, cement is made. Cement can be mixed with sand and water to produce mortar, which is used to glue bricks together. Cement can also be mixed with sand, gravel, and water to produce concrete. Concrete, when hardened, is very strong. Pouring concrete onto steel bar structures creates reinforced concrete, which is even stronger. Limestone can even be crushed and used as an aggregate when paving roads. The term aggregate simply refers to crushed stones and minerals for construction or road building purposes. When limestone is heated with sand and sodium carbonate, certain types of glass can be made. Limestone can also be used to neutralize acidic waters in soil. This process is known as liming. As limestone is white, it can be crushed into a powder and used in paints and toothpaste as a coloring agent. In summary, there are many real-life applications and usages for limestone.
All right, I'm sorry. The video won't be as good as it was before. I humbly apologize for that. But I had to make some changes. Um, I, I just want everyone to pay attention and to see. All right, I want everyone to pay attention to see how valuable this stuff is. They use limestone and sand, two of the things we have as the building blocks of the world. It is the building blocks of the world. Why is it that our government is not in this industry? Why is it that we have not tokenized this industry? How are we thinking? There's so much I wanted to show you tonight, but I can't because of time. Um, I can't because of time. Um, why is it that we're not thinking? Every Bahamian, every single Bahamian should be benefiting from our natural resources. I don't know how else to say this, and I don't know how to make your friends and family catch on to this, but they have been dredging and dredging trillions of dollars worth of our natural resources. I'm going to do a Google Earth and show you what they've been doing over the years. We're going to go back to Google Earth and I'm going to show you Bahama Rock. I have a little clip from C. Allen Johnson when we were doing the investigations for our documentary that we did. I don't think we used this clip in the documentary, but when we were doing the research for our documentary, we spoke to C. Allen, Prescott Smith, other persons, and we included them in our documentary. This is a little clip from C. Allen Johnson where he showed the original intention, where he showed the suspicious behavior of these people. And they came here to dredge a harbor, but it turned into dredging a whole massive area. I want you to just pay attention and watch this little clip. Bahamians, we are billionaires. The company that Jesse Lee works for is Vulcan. It is the biggest company in the world as it relates to aggregate. Marriott Marietta, that is Bahama Rock, they're the second biggest in the world. Two of the biggest countries in the world are getting their material to provide to the world from us. Two of the biggest companies in the world, they're here. But we don't know the value of what we have, so we just let them take it free. Biggest companies in the world. And they've said that we have the best quality of this stuff. That only South Africa has some good stuff too, but it's not on par with us. And so does Mexico, but it's not on par with us. But we have the good stuff. Watch what C. Allen, this is a breakdown when we were doing our research before we released those documentaries. Watch this.
This is the harbor right here. That's the harbor that they was originally hired to dredge. This little harbor, this is supposed to be the deep water harbor right here. And now they're way up here, all the way up to the top. Okay. You see this? Okay, you see this plan right here, right? This is where, this is the container port where you see the container port right here, right in here. Oh, I'm pointing like y'all can see my finger. Let me get a bigger pointer. Okay, where's the pointer? Give me a hand, something. Okay, right here. Right in here, this is the container port right here. Okay, this here is where the ships park for the processing of the for the loading of the docks. This here is where this is the shipyard, and this is their part of their property where they're mining. If you look, this is, now I want you to pay attention, right? And this is the shocking part of it right here. And this is what a lot of people did not pay attention to when we were fighting this in 2004. When they introduced me to show this to me, right? I was acting as if I was interested in actually becoming one of the senior managers. I just came home and with mining. But if you notice that right in here, in this whole area right here, they already had that they were going here. There was no permission or no application made for them to be in this area. But here, when I asked him a question, I said, hey, how is it you're showing the Hawksbill Creek all wide open, and that's not part of your master plan? Here it says here, the original Hawksbill Creek agreement covered here, coming down. That's the original. It went here. It went here, straight across to here. That was the original road. They were never supposed to have dug up here. Never. Okay. So now you see, and so even for, if you look at all of this area here, in this area, right in here, this is an EIA, and this is where you have to question the credibility of our governments. How is it that they were making application, right? But these part here, with none of these at the time they make application existed. None of these openings existed. And here it is, like 12 years later, they give them consent. But you could see right here, they already had on their master plan what they were going to do. And this is where I was telling people back then, hey, pay attention, because they're not making applications. They're not making applications for here. What they're making applications, if you go back to the EIA, they were showing you in the EIA document. Let me see if I went back to that share. Yes. If you go back to the EIA document, they were making applications to come in this area right here. In this area right here, right? That's what they're making an application for. Yet, in their plan, they showed you how they was going to take all this other area that wasn't even on the plan that they were asking for permission for. So they were almost giving you foresight of what they were going to do. And that shows you for 12 years, they already knew that they were not going anywhere. There you go, right here. And so this is what they were making applications for. Now, and so this is their original map. Let me see here, going further. Right? This is where they were making application to dig when we started fighting them. But if you look closely here, right? Do you notice where they were? This was the Freeport Harbor. You see where they're all the way up here now? Up where this red is? They're all in this area now. So imagine that they came for this, the Freeport Harbor, and now they have all of this. All of this already dug out. You see where they taking Freeport away? So I'm saying to you, what happens is slowly, like for instance, nobody after we had the fight from 2004 to 2006 to stop them from going to the other side of the road. Because let me go back to a map. Essentially, what they've never held another. Here's what they said: for any modification of the agreement requires a public meeting. They've never had another public meeting. See, this is what they came to do, according to the Hawksbill. See, so they've been. Remember, they keep saying, "Oh, they've been digging based on the Hawksbill Creek Agreement." Well, according to the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, it was only supposed to be. They only came for this part right here, right? Okay. But now, they look where they at. this is the only thing left of the island, you know, this piece right here. That's the only thing left on the island that connects the two half of the island. This little swatter line leading to 8 Mile Rock. This little swatter line right here leading to 8 Mile Rock. See how they done went? They done took, this is mangroves. So you could almost, when you look at what Bahama Rock already took, they went from this little area here they're supposed to do, right? Now, Bahama Rock then took almost the whole island, this whole half of the island, separated right here. When you look at what Bahama Rock have, this is the only thing that connects east to west, right here, this little road. Okay? That's the road the government built. Because Bahama Rock then took maybe a whole percentage of that whole section of that thing. They then separated the island. Here, this is 202, 204. I want you to look as each of these waterways type thing just start appearing. Okay. 206, 207, 8. That's still 8. That's 13. See how the water just here, these just fill up. These now, mind you, these are all backfill again. Because essentially what they do, hold on a second, let me just go through this first from the beginning. You keep going up. And so now I want you to notice, like right here, you see the Hawksbill Creek right here, and this is 213. This is understurf. You see how that's the Hawksbill Creek understurf. Deep hole right here. This hole here is now 80 feet deep. This right in here is 80 feet deep. If you notice that even right in 2013, you could barely see where the shipyard is. Move over here again. This is 2014. This is where the ships get repaired. This is where Caribbean, who was it? Carnival owns this port right here. And this is the shipyard right here. Mm-hmm. These are the lifts that take the cruise ships out of the boat. The only ones in this hemisphere that can lift cruise ships out of the water. Any major cruise ship and tankers totally floated out of the water. If you know the size of this ship right here, you can understand the size of that dock. So just imagine that this dock has to drop 60 feet or whatever into the water and then come back up to lift the boat out of the water. And 80 feet deep, billions of dollars of tons of aragonite. No one knows to the depth they have dug so far. No one can tell you. And so what they essentially want to do is leave this little sliver of road to connect east and west, because essentially they have their eyes on this also, the same area right here also, all the way through, because this here is the old cement plant. This is their property also. This is where the ships come in here to load. This is, if you look closely, you'll see the conveyor belt that carries the dirt. And so they owns this. Now and see, because they bought the cement factory. Now here's the problem. All of this area here where they wanted to dig up in here, they also own. I want you to show where they own. They own all the way right along this property line, all the way here, going here to this pit right here. This is also a pit. This is where they used to get this is the mine. Just the top surface is the mine to get the calcium carbonate to put in the cement. And this is 2016. And so if you go back here to 2016, you'll notice this when Bahama Rock was given permission to begin digging here. Bahama Rock, let's go all the way to the forward, that's 2016. And so if you look over here in 2017, which is less than 3 years ago, you'll see where they begin to excavate right in here. You notice how they're excavating, and this is scarred up. And so they began the excavation of the dirt that's going out. Again, you see right in here in the area where they begin to excavate. And you see that becomes more pronounced in 2018. And so, and this is where they just digging. They could very easily have 10 to 20 more years of digging to go. Don't mind that you're seeing the water, because it is in the water that stops them. It's the depth that they're allowing themselves to go to. They keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. So this one for 2019, and that's the bridge that they keep talking about that's always flooding, right here. Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to give you a clip of that. That shows you what's really been going on in the billions that is being made in this country. We have, so much more documents we have to show you. I don't know how much more though we have to show the Bahamian people for them to realize that, listen, we're being hoodwinked. We're getting nothing for this, and they're using politics to separate us. And so we have all of these documents. This is the document that Von Miller shared with the House of Assembly, where he showed what's really going on in this country. He showed some of the companies, but they didn't show that company, that hidden one that we had to go all through the bushes and in order to find. That isn't on this document. All right, they have the CSL Group, the Martin Marietta. This is Bahama Rocks, DuPont, all of this stuff. DuPont have the original documentation to show DuPont, et cetera, and all these people and how they got access to our lime and et cetera. We have the original documents that shows what they gave to them. Here, he's showing the value of this limestone that went out. $5.4 billion, might as well say $5.5 billion worth. All right, and basically the ships that they went out on, and how much the value. Bahamas Spirit, that's the biggest one, $3.7 billion. And so this is what is going on in this country. They show all this dragging that was going on. And this was Von Miller. He showed this. He tabled this in the House of Assembly. This is documented. All this research was done. And here they're showing where all of this limestone is going, all over the U.S. The ports all over the U.S. Look, the ports all over the U.S. Look, all the way there. You see, from Grand Bahama. See these ships going around and, from Grand Bahama. All right. And they're listing them. All right. Lake Charles, Louisiana, Pensacola, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Port Canaveral, all of these places, our limestone is going billions of dollars worth. That's where our limestone is going. And they're showing the value of them. How much went to Lake Charles? 52 million worth went to Lake Charles. Mobile, Alabama got $383 million worth. And this is just the raw value. This isn't what they made from it when it got there. So they could have made 10 times that amount for it when it got there. Pensacola, Florida, 143 million, and all of these numbers are right here. All right, Tampa, Florida got $1.2 billion worth. All right, and so this is what we have been experiencing over the. Y'all gotta hold me. I gotta take a daddy break. All right, you want me to fix it? Okay, let me fix this. All right, here we go. Touch anyone. All right, sorry about that. I had to take a little break right there. But this is documentation that they have presented. And so the House of Parliament knows all of this information, and we have the full breakdown on everything that has been going on. We have the full breakdown on everything. All right. And there's so much more. Like I said, we have more documents that shows all of this. We have the original documents. And the truth of the matter is we are going to have to take our country back. The time for talk is over. And so I don't know what it is that y'all are going to do, but I can't take the talk anymore. And so I just wanted to be able to do this. I'm going to open the phone lines for a sec for those who want to call in and see what they have to say. I'm going to shoot a couple more of these documents that we have here. We have so many documents. It'll take us a very long time to go through all of them. A very long time. But and we spend most of our days reading documents, going through documents, talking to people, talking to professionals, locally, internationally. That is what we do, because we realize that our country is in trouble. Our country is in trouble. Yes? Yes.
As
You? Okay.
you mean?
As you? Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that's Polo.
no.
Nice shirt. Nice shirt. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, uh, the document they were talking about, that I was talking about here is this is the original document from the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited to
Yeah.
Bahama Chemicals Limited. This is the original. This is the original document, and there's all of the documentation. You can see who signed, and you can see who's allowed to partake and participate. We're gonna release a lot of these documents. I think we release them on our site, but we have to get these sites back up. You can see where certain companies were mentioned, and you go to the bottom of these documents. You're gonna see where these are the original documents. And no one has these. Um, Signed by the man himself, Wallace Groves. All right. Wallace Groves, signed by Wallace Groves. That's his signature. All right. You see it? It was affixed by Wallace Groves, and there it is. All right. And so we have all of the original documents. You can't find this in the Bahamas because the truth of the matter is a lot of these deals were done overseas. If you look at the top of the document, United States of America, New York, New York, they scorched off New Providence, scorched off Bahama Islands, and this deal was literally done overseas. All right? And so you can get these documents if you have connection to the United States. Freedom of Information Act is there, but we don't have a Freedom of Information Act. And that's a big part of the problem that we have. All right? And so this is the document for. See which document this is for. This is a document for the rock license. This is the rock license, and then there was also a document that was for lime. It's a separate license for lime. All right, we should have time to go through all of this with you, but there's a lot of documents. This is the impact assessment document, and so we have. So we're gonna go through all of them. I'm gonna open the phone lines. Y'all gotta bear with me. Let me see it. Okay. So I'm going to open the phone lines for anyone who wants to call in. It's 803-5995. Call me on that number, 803-5995. 803-5995. All right. All right. Phone lines. Let's go to phone lines. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're live. How you doing, man?
Pretty good in yourself.
I am awesome.
Excellent. How do we get these people out of our country until we have a proper agreement in place?
What we need to do, they've been digging now since the 1950s. All right, and they're going to continue. It's because we have the corrupt PLP and FNM in place that this is being allowed to happen. Politicians get their pay under the table. That is what they get. They get their pay under the table. And while they're getting their pay under the table, they don't care what the government gets. They don't even collect what the government should collect. And so we just need to remove the PLP and FNM. Billions of dollars is actually being made. And so if Bahama Rock was making taking $5.4 billion worth, then what I showed you was Freeport Aggregate. They are probably taking the same amount or more. All right. And so that's more than 10 billion right there. All right. There are other companies doing the same thing. Billions of dollars is being made. The problem is we are getting nothing for it. Nothing.
If the Bahamian people need to know if they're not paying above the table to the Bahamas government, they're probably paying under the table, and it's probably in a trust fund in St. Kitts or one of the lesser Antilles. And it won't be in a politician's name, but they probably will be on the document as the president of that money? How do we track that down?
Trust me, we have already tracked down a lot of it. We just need to get in power to make it effective. We were ready for them on day one. We've already tracked down a lot of it. I've shown where we've shown companies in England, Switzerland, etc. I've shown some on some of my lives where we've already started tracking down some of this. We can do this. We're gonna also, in addition to the research that we've done, we're gonna also bring in the FBI to assist. The same way the DEA assists our DEU with drug enforcement in this country, we're gonna bring in the FBI, etc., to assist with forensic audits, etc., to deal with corruption that is going on in this country. And so we've already tracked down a lot of it, and we are going to get this right. But we have to get rid of these corrupt governments. They're going to fight us. They're going to, destroy our character. They're going to fight us. They're going to threaten us. They're going to do everything in the world. But all we got to do is stand up as a people and let them see that we are tired. That's it. The only solution is to remove the PLP and the FNM. At this point, we have nothing to lose.
Mr. Bain, I am out there campaigning for you in the food stores. I think that's you talk to that lady who said she was going to call you in Super Value on Mackey Street.
Yes, I did speak to her. Thank you.
Excellent. You're welcome. The Bahamian public, please, just try to campaign for you. You're telling your friends and family and co-workers you're doing a good job. But just try for 30 seconds of the day. Campaign to a stranger. Just wait for the right moment. Practice with the guy on the light. When he comes to ask you for $1, give it to him, but also ask him to please vote for Lincoln Bain so he can benefit from the carbon credits where he don't have to be hustling on the light. And then you will get something as well from Lincoln Bain being power.
Thank you,
Mr. Bain, for everything.
Thank you for your call, man. And take another caller. All right. Thank you, man. Good afternoon, you're live. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Ben, how are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
Good. A good job you're doing.
Thank you.
When you guys have an opportunity, I want you to look into OKX. Because OKX, I was looking at OKX to use them as a wallet. I was using FTX as my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But they went down, so I've been looking around for a different wallet, and I came across OKX, and I put OKX into Trustpilot, and the amount of negative reviews OKX have of them taking people money, people putting their money up, they can't access it, all kind of stuff. So OKX, you got to look at OKX.
OKX has come to the Bahamas also, and stay tuned.
I know.
And Allison Maynard's law firm was dealing with them also. And so stay tuned for the backlash from that. All right. Anything these PLPs are involved with, what's about to go down.
Yeah, okay.
All right. We're also looking into them. You can't say everything we're doing, but trust me, we are all over this.
Yeah, man.
All right.
They need to be investigated. They don't have a good review at all.
Some stuff about it to find this week. Just stay tuned.
All right.
And if there's a clarion call, make sure you're there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995 is the number. You can call us on WhatsApp or on regular call. Listen. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how much more proof we need to see that the PLP and the FNM got to go. I don't know what else you want me to do. Someone says they just want over 6 of the COI. Thank you so much. 803-5995 is the number. Call us in. Let them hear what you have to say. We gave the government 2 days to answer to the Bahamas and the world about their involvement with FTX. Other than that, we declare war, and we're going to escalate this to another level. All right? Like you've never seen. All right? So we give them 2 days. So we're going to go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You are live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Oh, good night. How you doing, Mr. Dan?
I am awesome.
That's great. I was listening to your ad, dog. You're doing a very, very good job, right?
Thank you.
But I want to ask you a question. I know you guys are very busy. You're in Grand Bahama and you're in Nassau, but Albuquerque, when are you going to give Albuquerque some attention? Like, for the islands. Last time you would say you went to Hope Town.
Yes.
And I'm here on campaign with you every day. I spread the message to everyone I get in contact with every day. I have people in Grand Key asking me about you guys when you coming down there. You know?
Yes. We are going to be there early in the new year. We're going to be there very early in the new year. We've already started making plans for that. We've already started having conversations. So we're going to be there early in the new year. We had to get Grand Bahamas set up and ready. Grand Bahamas is set up and ready. They're going to start doing what they have to do. And next we're going to go to Abaco. Sorry, and so Abaco is next on our agenda. We also got to get to Eleuthera. We got to touch into Bimini. A lot of people from Bimini are calling for us, and the Southern Islands are also calling for us. But Abaco is next on our agenda, getting our constituency branches set up there and paying a lot of attention to what's going on there. Abaco is the second jewel that is the key to the New Bahamas, and so we are definitely going to be there and take care of Abaco.
Okay, that sounds very good. I have a lot of people meet you guys.
All right, awesome. We'll be there soon, so just stay tuned to what's going on, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for your call. 803-5995 is the number. You can call, WhatsApp call or regular call, 803-5995. So you can give us a call there. We have a lot of work to do as a people. And like you said, they want us to come to Abaco, they want us to come to Eleuthera, etc. You got to fund the movement. You got to make this happen. We are doing more than any so-called third party has done in the history of this nation. And so we are rocking this nation. The government is responding to everything that we're doing. And they are in panic. They've never seen a movement like this, and they don't know what to do with us. And so it's going to take your funding. It's going to take your help. If you're a member, pay your membership dues. If you want to support us, support us. We've now set up our links and branches and teams in the United States, in Canada, etc. International team. If you have family that are in the US, etc., that want to help with certain things, you can reach out to our office number, 804-4264, and you can have them added to that WhatsApp group. We have people all over the world willing to work. This is happening, y'all. A serious momentum is happening. And as you can see, before election, we were traveling, touching all of the islands. We were operating on the same level as the bigger parties. And then after election, we haven't stopped. And so we're going to continue. But we need your help to do that. And so in the same way that the PLP and the FNM are raising funds to do different things, we have to raise funds also. So if you believe, even if it's $1, even if it's $5, $10, do what you have to do. Help the movement. We're not going to just be able to do this on our own. If you believe in it, someone says, and I will be coming. Yes, we are. If you believe in the movement, you got to help. All right. So that's the only way it's going to get done. So we have a GoFundMe if you want to assist there, or you can go to our website and just scroll down, excuse me, and you're going to see where you can donate. You can donate directly or to GoFundMe, however you want to do it. Or you can come to our office. We have volunteers who are there working on a daily basis from 11 to 4, I think it is, where you can come and deal with us right up front. This is going to happen if you all make this happen. 803-5995, 803-5995. So we just wanted you to be aware that we are demanding the government deal with this FTX situation, and we're demanding that we have some solutions in Grand Bahama. So people always ask for solutions, and I always give solutions. Grand Bahama can be fixed, and can be fixed very easily. There's a few options. There's a few options, and one of them includes taxing any activities. So some people might say, oh, they already have certain agreements, and agreements is in place. You can tax any agreement. Any agreement can be taxed. You can create a new tax. And so if there was a agreement as it relates to taxation in the Grand Bahama Port Authority, there could be a new tax that could be introduced. Don't they do it to us all the time? And so Norway, for example, they get 50-50 when it comes to the oil that is produced in their country. But they also tax it for another sum that's up to, in some instances, up to 95%. And they kind of do it where it ranges from 87 to 95%. They use taxes to get the rest of it. So the companies get maybe 5 to 10%, But Norway gets the bulk of the money that comes from their natural resource of oil. Okay? And so you're allowed to do that. Norway also went into competition with them. All right? We need a real government that's not going to be corrupt, not going to sell out for some lunch money, etc. We need a real government that's going to get this done. People with real vision. That's what we need. We need people who are willing to stand up, who are not going to take bribes, who are going to make this happen. And so this is a chance. It's open up. The line is open. You might have family members that had a question that you could not have answered. Call me. All right. I'm going to look at some of your texts in a minute because I normally neglect those texts. But call me if you have friends or family members that may have had a question that you might have not have understood, that you didn't know how to answer the question. Just call me. That's your chance to call. That's why we do this every week. Or you can post your questions. So let me look at some of your texts. Taxing any activities gone to Lincoln. They, as in the company, but foreigners got taxed, not the Bahamians. All right. So post some of your questions. I know it's a delay, so it's going to take a while for them to come up since I said that. If you have questions, stuff you don't understand, this is your chance. I'm always here, always able and willing to ask questions. All right. They put up the link there for SunCash. If you want to donate using your credit card to the COI, the link is right there right now. You can just click on that and you can use your credit card and you can donate to the Coalition of Independence right now. This thing takes effort. This thing is going to take money. Mr. Philip Days, where's the $9 billion in VAT money? Yes, there's $9 billion in VAT money. $9 billion. But instead of it going down, it went up. Let me show you something. They're robbing us, and they're telling you stuff like they're going to pay off the debt in order to allow us to be taxed to death. We need to move from being a country that depends on taxes to being a country that benefits from its natural resources. This is simple. And we have now moved into the digital era. We can actually digitize, tokenize our natural resources. We can tokenize and have a token with actual value. Actual value, not some imaginary thing like what FTX did. Tokens, real tokens with actual value of our natural resources, of our limestone, of our carbon credit, et cetera, et cetera. We can do this and make billions of dollars. Our debt could be paid like that. We could have tokens that is backed by our crown land. We could have tokens that is backed by our crown land. We could have tokens that we take, let's say 100,000, 200,000 acres of crown land. All right. We have over 300,000 acres of crown land in Grand Bahama. We could take 100,000 of that, give it a certain value. Let's say we give it a value of, say, 300,000. I had an interesting conversation with C. Allen Johnson about this today. Let's say you have a value of about 300,000 for 100 acres of crown land. Somebody do the math. How much is that? You take 100,000 acres of crown land, 100,000 acres, and you give it a value of 300,000 because of where it's located. Anyone put it in yet? Anyone? That's $30 billion. That's $30 billion, just like that, tokenized. And these tokens can be traded on the market. These tokens can have actual value. Just like that, you just raised $30 billion. Just like that. What is our government doing? Go Lincoln, explain to us, when we win the election, how can we get our royalties or back pay? Will you negotiate their contracts? Remember, there's no contracts that are exclusive. All right. And so we're not worried about the back. We're worried about going forward. All right. A lot of the people, Wallace Groves, etc., the people who signed a lot of these documents are dead. Some of the banks that they dealt with don't even exist anymore. Some of these agreements were signed in the United States of America and signed with the governor, which means they signed with the Queen. Our agreements, since 1973, the Governor General don't sign, the Prime Minister signs, or some minister responsible signs. All right, and so it's a different situation now. And so we're going to get what belongs to us. All right, everything I can't say, but definitely from the day that we come into office, moving forward, we are going to benefit. And so where contracts cannot be renegotiated, then you're going to be taxed. It's simple as that. You can continue to dig, keep digging, have your fun, but we're going to get ours. We're going to get our royalty. We're going to make them an offer they can't refuse. I can't say it here and now, but we're going to make them an offer they can't refuse. I'm going to say this again. We are taking back the Port Authority. We are taking back Freeport. All right? That's ours. And we're taking it back. It went away from us because of corruption. It was stolen from us. We are going to benefit. All right? And so I'll leave that right there. So let me see if any more of your questions are here. Mrs. Land is power. Vision on steroids. Teach them, Lincoln. Thank you. See if any questions are here that I miss. You can't see them. I'm trying to go back and see if any are here. All right. And so we're going to do some things, but don't worry. Grand Bahama is safe. Every single Grand Bahamian is going to benefit from what's going on. They're going to benefit. Will the digging stop? No. Not right now. But we are going to benefit. Are we going to stop them? Are we going to take away from them? No. Just keep digging. Just like VAT was added to us, business didn't stop, but we had to start, paying our VAT. They're going to have to contribute to us. We get the royalties, and it goes to the Bahamian people. So, there's this talk about $3 trillion with a T worth of business that takes place in the Bahamas, worth of trade, not business, trade that happens in the Bahamas. $3 trillion. This is true. This is very true. Someone talked about, I think Graham Redford said, talk about putting VAT on it. No. We need VAT on it. We just need to tax it properly. All right? Tax it properly. And even if you get 1% of that, was 10% of 3 trillion. Anybody. 10% of 3 trillion. 10% of 1 trillion. Think about it. 10% of 1 trillion is 100 billion. 10% of 3 trillion is 300 billion. Wow. So 1% is 30 billion. Even if you tax it to a point where it won't even affect them, they won't even feel it, where it's only 1%. That's $30 billion coming in just like that. Coming back to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Bain, good evening. I have a question in reference to generational property in Grand Bahama.
Yes.
Because like you say, the Port Authority came in and got as much land as the government had given to them.
Yes.
But that land was, a lot of that was generational property.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the generations then that had that property before it was good, before Pinland and others? Maurice Moore was one of them. Those lawyers came and write up that agreement for the Port Authority, because I can tell you, my family was a part of it. A lot of our land was taken.
Yes.
And because our people were older, they trusted Pillin because he was just a new young lawyer, just came out of law school in London. Maurice Moore had a lot to do with it as well. And they came and they fooled the people because they were older. They had the people trusted these young, educated lawyers, the older folks who owned that land. I could tell you, if you Tano Beach and all of that property goes down to Williamstown and all the way up east, Barberry Beach and all of that was generational property.
Yes.
And all of that was given to the Port Authority. So now, if you bought a house, a Bahamian person buys a house in Freeport, that was our land to begin with. Why are we paying property and the cost of the house?
Yeah, what happened in Grand Bahama was a crime of the century. I don't think there's been any bigger crime in world history than what has happened in Grand Bahama to the Grand Bahamian people. So for them to be able to sell land to Grand Bahamians that they were leasing is unheard of. All right, that won't stand up anywhere in the world. That has never happened before. They say you're leasing land, but you're going to sell it. Now, that crime they did of removing our generation property, it should not have happened. It is actually illegal and it should go back. So, generation property is property that was left by the slave masters for the generations of the slaves. And so that was kind of a reparation. I wouldn't say it's complete reparations, but it's a kind of a reparation because they didn't want to have to pay them cash. They even promised the slaves in America 40 acres and a mule as repayment for what they went through. Of course, they never got that. The Indians got theirs because they're willing to stand up and fight. And they're together. The Indians got their land. As you can see, they have reservations that they are kind of outside of the law of America. But our black people is like everywhere we get tricked because they are able to divide us with politics and all of this nonsense. They keep us dumb and they fool us. And so our reparations was that generation property. But what they do to make sure we don't benefit from it is they don't give you title for it. They don't allow you to get title, so you can't use it as collateral, et cetera, or to get a loan, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what they do to keep us down. They stole our generation property and gave it in some instances to this Grand Bahama situation, this Port Authority situation, and that has to be fixed. We are going to right all of the wrongs as relates to property that has happened to Bahamian people in this country. There are so many people that we have documents for where they have been wronged. Half Moon Key, all right, that was owned by Bahamians, all right, and they Ingram was one of the biggest criminals in this country's history when it came to land because he would just take the land of black Bahamians like they don't deserve nothing and just give it away to foreigners. That same Hubert Ingram, all right. I repent the day I ever voted in support of that evil man. They like Half Moon Key. It was 440 acres, I think it was. And they took 40 acres of it and just gave it because they know the black people can't sue. There was houses on there, there were buildings on there. They broke down the black people's property and just gave it away to the cruise line. You know, and this has happened to so many black people in our country where land has just been taken and raped and robbed from us. But we are going to right those wrongs. There are Bahamians that the king and the queen gave land to, and they took it from us.
And Mr. B, one more thing before I let you go, because like you say, where there's no vision, the people perish. Because if our leaders had visions, instead of selling all of our private keys to all of these cruise ship owners, even if they had the sense to lease the islands, at least money would have been coming in to support, like you said, police and schools and hospitals and everything else. But when you have sold it, then you have no control over it.
Yes.
So I wish to thank you very much for what you're doing. We're following you, the information. It has just been, it's like the Bahamas never existed until you start showing all of this information to the people. The people are now informed and they're ready to move. And we wish to thank you for all of the information that you have provided. We're ready to go.
God bless you. See you later.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas to you too. And so there's a lot more information on our website, coalitionofindependence.com. There's all of those documentaries that we brought up before. A lot of them are there. So go there and take advantage of all of that information. A lot of my lives. When you have spare time, if I'm not live on a particular day, go back to my lives and watch those lives. Those lives have documents. They have a lot of information. It's a treasure trove of information. I know it's big, a lot of information, but you got to take the effort. I cannot share information in 10-minute intervals and 15-minute. This information is so vast, I cannot teach it in short videos. And so my job is to give you the information. And your job is to take from it what you need and go out there into the country, into the highways and byways, and evangelize. We have to prepare to organize. We have to organize ourselves. We have to organize ourselves in every constituency. All right, Grand Bahama, we've just put our executives there. It's important and imperative. I'll start firing people if it don't happen, because this is critical. We have to get this right. Form your branches. 10 people in a constituency. Each of them can reach 10 people. Each of them can reach 10 people. Each of them can reach 10 people, and it can spread out. We have to hit every door right now. A lot of people don't know about us, and the government is fighting us because they don't want this information out there. We have to go out there and make this happen. It is important that we get our databases and start now. We have to rescue this country. We have to rescue this country. It is important. It is imperative. We must rescue this country. We must. There's some information I know, and sometimes you see me go quiet, and it's because there's some things I know that you don't know. There's no way in these short lives that I do that I can reveal all of the information that I have. There's no way. There's things that I know, there's things that I see. Our country is being raped and robbed. Our country is being raped and robbed. Raped and robbed. All right. Take a couple more questions and then we'll be out of here. Let me see if there's any more on here. Somebody says we need to set up rallies everywhere to let the people know. Yes, we do. FNM is also afraid of COI. They are more afraid of the COI than the PLP. They're more terrified. And so they're going to attack us. They're going to attack us. All right. So we've been taken advantage of for far too long. Now we're going to take our country back and start prosecuting the head. Of course, we gotta get this right. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this. No Christmas for me. Fighting for Christmas. The Christmas. I can't see the rest of it. Lincoln, thank you for all of your investigative work. This is exactly what Bahamians need. Thank you too. Thank you to all the Bahamians who are standing up and helping to make sure this is happening. All right. Papa really did some wicked deals that didn't benefit the Bahamian people. And he has two puppets lined up. He has Michael Pintard, who's also the puppet of Brent Simonette, also the puppet of Fred Smith. He's everybody's puppet right now. And, but Ingram also has another puppet lined up, and that's in Dwayne Sands, waiting for him to come out. Pintard has not forced Long Island to resign or pressured him to resign because he knows that Dwayne Sands is going to pressure to get that seat. And so if Dwayne Sands get that seat, which will be a sure seat for him where he could win, he knows Dwayne Sands is going to run for leadership of the party. And so that's what they're fighting over now. They are fighting to have more corruption. I'll just leave it at that. All right. How do we get them out of office now? Brave can do. There's a lot of ways we can get them out of office now. The biggest way is if the people hit the streets. If the people have the courage, they hit the streets. But Brave is good at one thing, pacifying people. He knows that Bahamians are passive people, and if they are comfortable, they won't risk their job, their mortgage, etc., to hit the streets. And so, he's giving crumbs. And so that's what they're doing, giving crumbs. And they're bragging about, nonsense that they're doing. Nothing. But they're giving crumbs in the hopes that Bahamians will be pacified enough to say, you know what? We don't need no natural resources money. Oh, that's a bunch of dreams. What we got right now is sure crumbs. And that's what they're doing to us. That's what they're doing. So we got to wake up, we got to stand up, and we got to do what we have to do. All right. We got to continue to stand up and fight these political trolls who are all over social media being paid. Well, they're actually complaining that they're not being paid, but they're still doing what they have to do. I don't understand it. I don't understand what kind of witchcraft that would be. Someone told me that Fred Mitchell's special friend, Ben McKinney, that he put out a voice note, talking about some nonsense about the Privy Council, saying that I didn't apply to the Privy Council. Ben McKinney is a WhatsApp lawyer. I'm going to make this clear. Ben McKinney is a WhatsApp lawyer, and he has zero credibility. And the fact that he is a political prostitute for the Progressive Liberal Party on WhatsApp shows you that he has no credibility. Ben McKinney, if he were a real lawyer, and he's a lawyer who had, he has nothing. And, someone called him, Jones a lawyer, I can't go there. But Maria tried to give him some jobs, give him some work to do, just to help him out, because the PLP wasn't doing nothing for him. The PLP still hasn't done anything for him. And he's putting out these voice notes, just repeating whatever Fred Mitchell, because he's Fred Mitchell's special friend, whatever Fred Mitchell tells him to go out there and say. And he's just reading the stuff off and repeating them. But he went out there to say that we didn't file anything before the Privy Council for one business matter they have. If Ben McKinney was a real lawyer, Ben McKinney would know that you don't just go to the Privy Council. You have to apply for leave from the Court of Appeal to go to the Privy Council. And then the Court of Appeal would say, yes, you have leave to go to the Privy Council. Or, no, you don't have leave to go to the Privy Council. And even if they tell you no, you can still go. But first, you have to go to them first. All right? But Ben McKinney isn't a real lawyer. He's technically a real lawyer, but he's not a real lawyer. And you know what I mean by that. And so he's never been to the Privy Council. He doesn't know these things. All right. Marie has tried to help this young man, but he's a nobody, and he keeps letting the PLP use him. Notice all the lawyers in the PLP, they don't do that low life stuff. He actually posted a picture. He literally posted a picture saying that he called the Privy Council. All right, and he showed a picture, and in this picture, it was so funny. Me and some people had a good laugh at that. He showed a picture. Oh, I wish I could have put it on the screen for you. It was so ridiculous. It was entertaining the way it was so ridiculous. He literally posted this picture. Let me see if I can pull this up quick for you to show you how desperate the PLP is. And they're so desperate to find something on me and Maria that they don't even make sense. That they are just in a panic over me and Maria and the COI and what we've been able to accomplish and how we've been able to do it. They don't understand this movement. They think that it's just us. They think that this has something to do with us and our abilities. No, this is bigger than us. And that is what they keep failing to understand. I'm going to put this picture up for you right now. Jesus, Lord. And anyone looking at this for 3 seconds will be able to see exactly, what this clown did. This is entertaining. This is just entertaining. And I love entertainment. But let me put this up here for you. Give me a sec to put it up. Where is it? I think that's it. Let's pull this up for you. I think it's coming up. Man, someone says they wasting their time. This is what he did. He said he called the Privy Council, right? So right here, if you look carefully at this, he has a call at 2:45, 14:45. It's 2:45 for 49 seconds, right? And then at 2:46 for 1 minute, he has another call, right? So obviously he didn't get an answer here. So obviously this is the same period of time he didn't get an answer there. But look what he did. Right after that, you see the time? He went and did a screenshot at 2:48. which means that he only made that call to do a screenshot so he could say he called. All right, to say that he called the Privy Council and this is what he was told and this and that. Look at how stupid this is. You talk to the Privy Council in seconds. That's what you did, and they give you all this information in seconds. These trolls are getting more and more desperate. The PLP is getting desperate. The FNM is getting desperate, but they see changes in the air. And that is why they're trying to have a different voting bloc. But we're going to stand up. And we're going to make this happen, no matter what it is they say they're going to do. Yes, we are, I don't even want to talk about that, but I'm going to take one day and read the actual transcripts from there, and you will see where we don't waste time with that. Listen, we're gonna continue doing what we're doing. We don't have time to waste with this foolishness. We're moving forward. We're going to continue transforming this country and transforming this nation. We told you that they were going to start their attacks. All right, they're going to start their attacks, but we're not going to stand down. All right, it's that we got some work to do, and we're not going to be distracted from that. Right? No one is going to distract us from that. And so they can say whatever they want to say. They can do whatever they want to do. But we're going to fix this corrupt country. We're going to fix this, whether they like it or not. And who think that they can find some people who are looking than me and Marie, or more eloquent than us, or more saved than us, then please tell them to come forward. Tell them come forward. All right? Bahamas needs all the help they can get. Tell them come. But no, these persons have sold their souls. And so they're not willing to stand up. We're going to stand up for this Bahamas and do what we have to do. All right? And so it's that simple. So let's keep doing what we have to do. All right? I think that's it. I think we've covered, as much as we need to cover today. I think that's all we need to cover today. But ladies and gentlemen, 2 days. And then it's time to stand up. The corruption must end. The corruption must end. That's it. All right? So for those who want to run for the COI in the next election, it's time to start coming forward. We have candidates who are still with us, who are ready to go. A lot of candidates who are still with us, and they are ready to go. It's time to hit the highways and the byways. It's time to hit the streets. It's time for the ground game. Troops on the ground. We need your support. We cannot do this without your support. We hear you saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep going, keep going. We can't go unless you help us. Keep going. All right? We cannot keep going unless you help us to keep going. As simple as that. If you want to see this succeed, you have to do what you have to do to make it succeed. This is a movement of all of us, not of me, not of any individuals, of all of us. All right? So thank you so much for tuning in. 2 good days for this corrupt government to explain exactly what has been going on, what they've been up to. 2 good days. That's all we're giving them to this corrupt government. 2 good days. And that's it. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. We can't put any music on there because we don't want to get hit by the copyright police. But we just want you to know that we're going to leave you with some videos as we always did. Enjoy your Christmas. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, personally, I do not believe that Jesus was born on the 25th of December. But for those who do, that's on you. I don't. And so for those of you who know the reason for the season, celebrate your reason for the season. I will end with this. Unless you understand the reason for the season, you will not have an abundant life. When you understand the reason for the season, you will not let anyone, politician, boss, loved one, lover, husband or wife, take advantage of you. If you know the reason for this season, if you knew the reason for this season, you would live your best life now in preparation for the next one. If you knew the reason for the season, if you knew the reason for the season, you would do your best to be the best person that you can be. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason for the season is not Santa Claus. The reason for the season is not Frosty the Snowman or the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The reason for the season is not even baby Jesus. The reason for the season is you. You are the reason for the season. The season happened because of you. There's some people who believe that Jesus came as a Christ to sacrifice for us. I'm one of those people who believe that. If that is the case, it wasn't about him. He actually did that for you. Think about this. You know, I had a mother who sacrificed everything for me. She would, go and pay my school fee. If someone goes and pays your school fee for you because they want you to get a better education, is that about them who came to pay the price, or is it about you? That's about you, right? So that was about you. If you want to go to college and someone steps up and say, I'm going to pay your college, all I want you to do is live your best life, do what you can do, and pass it on to someone else. That's not about the person who paid the price. It's about you. They did that for you. My mother sacrificed and wore the same dress and did all the sacrifice she did to cause me to get an education and be the man I am. It wasn't about her. It was about me. So she wants me to honor her by living the best life that I can be. I say all that to say, the reason for the season is you. The sacrifice was made for you. And so you must honor that sacrifice by being the best person that you can be. Simple? That's it. And so for those who believe in the season, the reason for the season is you. All right? And so every time the master gives to mankind, he gives land. But it isn't just about the land, it's about what's in the land. They always describe what's in the land. In the Garden of Eden, we got land. That's the first thing we got, land. The first thing man got was land. That was the gift to us, land. And then it described what was in the land, the rivers that flowed to the land, and the fruits and the trees and everything else that was in the land. It described the onyx and other material that was there. It described the gold. And it said it was the good gold. The good gold. You gave good gold to people who don't even wear gold yet. But it was a good gold because it was there for them. And when they went into the promised land, it described the land of milk and honey, etc., etc. It's always about what's in the land. What's in the land is for the people to benefit. That's what it's about. So what's in your land? And who is that for? That's for you. So the reason for the season is you. Someone told me to stop talking about this pagan stuff. Yeah, a lot of what you see in Christmas is pagan, and I don't celebrate. But we're gonna have a government for all people. All right, Christmas trees, that kind of stuff. That's come from pagan stuff. All right, but the reason for the season is you. This is a season of love that we choose. That was season of love. So we should love each other, show love, act differently, be differently. Again, we are opening up a shelter for women, and so we still need some contributions. If you're willing to contribute, please let us know. We want to get some persons in there for the Christmas, so they could have Christmas instead of living in their cars. They could have a place, a roof over their head. So if you have We've already got donations of a fridge, of a hot water heater, a microwave, a fan. If you want to contribute any furniture, we have all the beds that we need. I think in one of them we have about 18 beds already in one location. Another location, we're still getting furniture together for that. But we need front room furniture. So if you have any front room furniture, even if we got to redo it, please let us know. We want to really help some people out there. All right. So please, if you're able to, please assist in any way you can. That's with funds. That's with whatever it is that you could help with. So again, front room furniture, etc. If you can assist, ductless air conditions. If you can afford that, that would also help them. All right. We want to make a change that's lasting. All right. And that's what we want to do. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your support. Thank all of you that supported us over the year. I'm going to try to do a year in review, probably on the 2nd after this season. But we got to take a little, break from all that. Now, in 2 days, if they don't do what they have to do, then war start. But brave, do what you got to do, yeah? Because winter is coming. And an army is coming. That's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to leave you all with some videos. Again, if you want to support, please give us a call and let us know that you want to assist in whatever way you can. This country is going to change, and that change is going to come through you. Thank you, and see you next time. Maybe later this week. If not, we'll see you in the new year. Thank you.
A lot of people wonder how Dubai became a very big, famous, and rich city.
You see, if you're comparing with Nigeria, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything. You name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country, not corruption. That's what brings your country at the top. You don't need anything. We want water, we don't have agriculture, we don't have mining.
That's quite interesting.
And that's Sheikh Mohammed. Number one, he doesn't know number two, he needs only number one. He says, I don't know, there's no number two in my book. Only number one.
I hear he doesn't ride in the convoy.
I don't know how you did this in 50 years. You look at history. Who does this? Show me anybody else that has done this in 50 years. I'm waiting. Show them to me. This wasn't done by money. Money doesn't produce visions. Visions produce money. You've had leadership over here that were visionaries, great visionaries, and their vision was more about the people than the money, because you can't accomplish this in 50 years without loving your people first, because the people are the ones that's benefiting from this. Look at your health care. Look at your road system. Look at your highway system. Look at your airports. Who does this in 50 years? But who benefits? You're going to care about those people. It's something to be learned about.
Ladies and gentlemen, see you next time. Remember, change ain't coming, change is here. Enjoy.